Hey everybody, welcome back to Jennifer's Garden. As you can see here, we've moved around a little bit. I'm up on out on the front porch of my house where the sun's just starting to come out. We had a little thunderstorm roll through. It's the end of March. We had a little trouble downstairs in the basement. Not trouble, I guess. It's more just we tried it and it was just too cold. I knew it was going to be a little chilly. We put an extra heat vent down there and I had a little heater going, but things were germinating but just not the way I liked it. So I decided to bring stuff up here and start doing stuff. It was just warm enough. It's still a little chilly at night, so I'll still have the heat mats just at night. Again, I wouldn't run your grow lights and the heat mats with the domes on top, so I'll just turn the heat mats on at night. So this is my ideal place anyways, so I'll just write this down and keep a little journal. That's the best thing that you can do, is just write a little journal. Take some notes from year to year to see what works, what doesn't work, what time you start, what date. Sometimes you might be able to start in mid-March. Sometimes you won't be able to start till April. You just never know. Mother Nature does her thing. So I just got all the grow lights set up out here. This is where I had everything last year. Worked really, really well. But obviously, I had to start things a little bit later because it's still pretty cool at night here in upstate New York. So I'll show you a little bit what I got so far. Here's my asparagus. They are looking great. I'm pretty sure that most all of my seeds germinate, and that was such an awesome experiment for me. Now, granted, these are very, very, very small. You normally buy the roots, and those are very established asparagus roots. So they actually start like this from a farm, and they'll go through on a full first year, and they'll pull them up, and that's what you buy. So you would be able to harvest some asparagus after you plant them and leave them for a whole nother year. So essentially they're about 2 years old by the time you can start cutting very little off of them. And then year 3, you can cut more, year 4 more, and so on and so on. So I am going to put these in a specific spot in my garden. I don't think I'm going to plant them all. I might give some away, sell some, who knows. But it was such a great experiment, and I might just keep doing it because it seems fun. And there's my sweet potato starting its slips. If you can see there, little sweet potato slips. They're growing really well. I had a little trouble with one kind of my onions. I did reds, yellows, and whites. The reds I got from Urban Farmer, I think. Yes. The whites I got from M.I. Gardener, and the yellows I got from David's Garden or something. I really had to search for seeds that were best for my area. Always make sure you're buying stuff best for your growing area. And like in my last video, if you want to go back and watch it, I talked about the onions and whether they're long day or short day onion. And up here I'm pretty north, so we are a long day onion. So I didn't want to buy a short day onion, which in looking through everything, I seem to find a lot of short days and not a lot of long days. So actually I left them here. These were the ones. Actually, I stirred up the dirt because I wanted to see what was left. Not one germinated. Not one. And these are my red onions. Planted them the same time. They grew in the same place, same conditions. These did not even germinate, not one. And these are pretty good. They're looking great. You can see the little seeds on the top. They start getting a little bit taller. I'm going to start clipping these, give them a little haircut, because you can. As long as you got like 5 or 6 inches, they can tolerate a little trim. And my white onions did pretty well too. They're about the same size, which is great. This, unfortunate. Oh well, you live and learn. So I did order some more. Actually, I planted these about a week ago, maybe a little bit over a week ago, and great results. These are the yellows, so I replaced them, and I got these from Isla's Garden. So they turned out pretty well. I'm pretty impressed. And I did a whole bunch of them, if you can see in the back. All these back here are yellow onions too. I feel like people use yellow onions in a lot of everything that you cook, so I'm just gonna plant a whole bunch and see what happens. So that's the onions. And now as soon as I put everything out here last week, I didn't want to do a video until I knew it was kind of warm enough. We had a few nice, really warm, humid days, and everything popped right up. So it was pretty slow to germinate down in my basement, which I knew was going to be an issue. But like I said, you don't know until you try it. So we tried it, and we needed a better solution. No big deal. So now I know that so I documented that last week I put these out here and they were okay. Again, I have the heat mats underneath. I just turn them on at night. I leave myself a little note. I unplug them before I go to work. Life is good. And there's plenty of sun here. But you can see there's no leaves on the trees right now. So they get pretty direct sunlight for most of the day, which is great. This is just such a good spot, and I really enjoy it out here. So I am gonna plant some more today because I know I'm a week behind, but that's okay. So I was gonna plant some tomatoes and cumin and St. John's wort last weekend, but again, I wanted to make sure I was okay to be out here, and I didn't want any more failures. I did actually had to replant my lavender, which is what it is. You figure it out as you go, right? So I'm just waiting for my seed cells to dry, because again, if you look back on some of my other videos, I showed you how to properly clean and disinfect your seed cells in your trays, because you don't want to cross-contaminate. You don't want a fungi from another plant to destroy a different plant. We don't want that. So I'm just waiting for those to dry, and then we'll pop them in. I've got 4 types of tomatoes. I'm going to plant cumin and St. John's wort today. All right, so here we go. I got all my plastic containers all washed out, dried. Like I said, I have past videos that shows how to do this. I pre-moistened my soil, my seed starting mix, so that's all set. I'm packed in a little bit, and now you can see we're all ready to go. So I have, I'm only going to plant a couple of small, like cherry tomatoes. They're sweetie tomatoes. So I really only want one plant. They grow so well, but you know, you always plant a couple. So I'll plant like 3 seeds and hopefully get one really good plant out of it. So I'll poke a couple in here. And one right there. 1, 2, and 3. And again, no more than 3 times the width of the seed that you planted down. So I'm going to put this little guy right there so I know that behind it is my sweeties. And then I'll put some Romas. I really got I have a lot to do with my tomatoes this year, so boy, it's humid out already, so my seeds are starting to stick here. So I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. Loop. Up those guys down. And those are my aromas. I'll do another set here. I really want enough room. 2, 3, 4. I'll put one right here. 5. I can hear it starting to sprinkle. Boy, the sun was out just a few minutes ago. Okay, so now it's all pre-moistened, so that's good. So that way it's already wet, so it'll start some germination. And, oh. So most people know what aroma looks like. If you don't, they're teardroppy kind of looking. They're really good for sauces and a lot of other things. And here's the little sweeties, the little tiny tomatoes. A lot of salsa too. I make a lot of salsa here, and I'm gonna try these giant Belgium. Super excited. These look huge. And tried and true beefsteak. These are great. You know, they're not always the nicest looking tomato when they grow, but you know what? Man, they are meaty. There's a lot to them. All right, so I'm gonna go through and plant these real quick. All right, everything's labeled and planted. Oh, that's bright, you can't really see it. So, wrote the little tags on there. Got Roma's, beefsteak, giant Belgium, cumin, St. John's wort. And I'll show you my other plants so far. My peppers are doing well. And then if you can see the little tiny celery coming up. Celery needs sunlight to germinate the seeds. So they were a little trouble growing down in my basement, but once I brought them up here, they really kind of popped. So, and you can only plant one plant. So I put a couple seeds in each cell and in hopes that just one would germinate. And so far, we've got one in each cell, so I'm pretty happy with that. My lemongrass is coming up over there. My jalapeno and my banana peppers really haven't come up yet, so I popped a couple other seeds. Honestly, I just think it's just it wasn't warm enough down there. So they'll really take off here once we get going. I'm really excited what I got so far. And they're gonna sit here all day and all night. I'm so excited. Everything's looking good so far. I'm really happy. You can see that sweet potato. I'm trying to get it in there. It's so cool. And then here this week we will get out into the garden. The last time I went out there, the ground was still really frozen right up to the top, and that was last week. But a couple of good warm days and some humidity, and things will really start to soften up, and we can get out there and start planning. I'm going to plan. Got to plan ahead so you can plant well and have great success. So I hope to see you on the next video. And thank you for growing with me so I can grow with you.